Title: She brushed me off and said, "If you don't like it, you know where the door is." Then she left for the night. I used the time to pack up and go. When she returned, ready for an argument, there was nothing left. I remember the way the door clicked shut behind her. Not slammed, not gentle, final. She didn't turn around when she said it. That line, the one people throw out when they think they've already won. If you don't like it, you know where the door is. I stood there with my hands at my sides, the room humming with all the things we'd never said out loud. The kitchen light flickered once. The clock over the stove ticked too loud. She grabbed her jacket, checked her phone, and left for the night like the house would stay exactly the way she left it. She thought I'd still be there when she came back. That was the mistake. We didn't start like this. That's what betrayal feeds on. Memory. It poisons the good parts first. I remember mornings when she'd rest her head against my shoulder while the coffee brewed, evenings when we planned futures that felt solid enough to stand on. I invested quietly, not just love, time, money, credibility. I tied my life to hers with contracts and shared accounts and routines so normal they felt safe. I believed in the version of her that looked me in the eye. I didn't notice when she stopped doing that. The changes came softly. A phone angled away, late meetings that never had names, laughing at texts she wouldn't explain. I told myself trust meant not asking questions. I told myself I was being mature. That lie lasted until the night I found the receipt. Not hidden, just careless. A hotel bar, 2 drinks, charged to our account. Her signature at the bottom, loose and familiar. The date matched one of those late meetings. Pain came first, sharp, immediate. Then something colder settled in. I didn't confront her. That's the difference between anger and intention. I watched, I listened, I cataloged, I learned the pattern of her lies, the way she rehearsed them aloud in the shower, the way her tone shifted when she thought I'd stopped paying attention. I pulled statements, screenshots, calendar overlaps. I didn't need much, just enough to know I wasn't wrong. And once I knew, I stopped reacting. I started planning. Planning is quiet. Planning doesn't shake or cry or raise its voice. I separated accounts slowly, small transfers that looked like groceries and utilities. I backed up documents to a drive I kept in my jacket pocket. I photographed everything that mattered. Leases, titles, insurance policies. I spoke to a lawyer using my lunch break voice, calm and curious, like I was asking about weather patterns. I found out what was mine. I found out what wasn't, and I made sure the lines were clear. I packed in my head long before I packed in the house. I decided what would leave with me and what would be left behind like a ghost of our life. I rehearsed silence the way other people rehearse speeches. So when she said it, that sentence, it didn't sting. It confirmed everything. She wanted a fight. She wanted noise. She wanted me small and reactive so she could feel tall. Instead, I nodded. She didn't notice. The moment the taillights disappeared down the street, the house felt different, like it knew. I didn't rush. I moved with precision. Clothes first. Only the ones I'd paid for, the ones that carried my smell. Documents next. The spare drive. My watch. The framed photo from my desk at work. I left the wedding gifts, the furniture, the art she loved but never asked about.
I erased myself carefully. I logged out of shared accounts, changed passwords, left joint credit cards on the counter, sliced cleanly in half. I wiped my number from the emergency contact list taped inside the cabinet. I fed the dog, kissed his head, and left him with the life she'd built around herself. I wrote the note last. Not angry, not pleading. You were clear. I took the exit. I placed it where she couldn't miss it, centered on the dining table, held down by her favorite mug, the one that said, "Speak your truth." Then I walked out through the door she'd pointed to like a threat. She called me at 2:17 a.m. I watched the phone ring without touching it. By morning, the messages stacked up. Confusion first, then irritation, then panic. I let them age. Fear ripens when it's ignored. The confrontation she'd prepared for never came. No shouting match, no explanations, no chance to twist the story into something survivable. Instead, the consequences arrived in pieces. The bank flagged her when the account balance didn't look the way she remembered. The landlord called about the lease addendum I'd filed weeks earlier. Her sister texted me by mistake, asking what was going on because she's losing it. I didn't reply. The truth doesn't need help. She found the folder on the cloud drive 2 days later. I know because she emailed. Subject line blank. Just one sentence inside. You planned this. Yes, that was the point. People noticed. They asked questions she couldn't answer without breaking the story she'd been telling. The person she'd been seeing realized he wasn't the only secret. The workplace rumors circled back to her when my name stopped being attached to hers. She lost leverage before she lost sympathy. That's the real fall. We met once, in public, neutral ground. She looked smaller, not because she was guilty, but because she no longer controlled the frame. She asked how I could leave without talking. I told her I had listened for years. She had nothing after that. I don't miss her. I miss the man I was before I learned how quiet revenge could be. But I like who I am now. I sleep better. I move lighter. I don't explain myself to people who mistake kindness for permanence. She told me where the door was. I walked through it, and I never looked back.